Hello, welcome to Guardian Lane's webinar. I'm so happy you could be with us. I'm going to record this so that you can view it at any time, send it to staff, and also be able to go back and see how to create your account if you need any help. On this call, we are going to go over why Guardian Lane exists. We are going to talk about why I am so passionate about it and work hard every day to provide this resource for you. We're going to look at Guardian Lane, the student's view. And so you can see all the features and some of the projects and types of projects that we create for you. And then I will show you how to create your account and how to use your dashboard to add students and families to the account so that they also can have access to this resource at any time. So I'm excited. Let's begin. I'm so excited to share Guardian Lane and how it can support your students and your students' families and yourself in any moment when you need to support a student who is grieving. So why do we need to care? When we talk about grief from the loss of a loved one, which is where Guardian Lane's heart is, we'll talk about other forms of grief later in this presentation, but our bread and butter is grief from the loss of a loved one. And when you look at these stats, 1 in 5 will lose the death of a loved one, friend, or school admin before the age of 18. 1 in 12 will experience a significant loss, which is the death of a parent or sibling before the age of 18. And this is an average. There are some states like West Virginia where it's 1 in 8. And then this is an old stat, but 140,000 kids have lost a parent due to COVID-19. And what happens if we just leave this grief unaddressed? Well, studies are now showing that it leads to mental and physical health issues later in life, such as depression, chronic illness, suicide, heart disease. I know in California alone, every single year they are spending over $10 billion treating health issues that could have been prevented if we had really addressed children's grief and adverse childhood experiences earlier in life. So how does grief show up with your students? Well, as we know, grief can show up in many different ways, but it's important to initiate contact so that they know that they are supported. While it's hard to know what to say, silence can affirm that they are alone and abandoned or that nobody cares. So why do I care about this work? Well, I was your student. At the age of 7, my father died of cancer. No support from my school or my grieving mother. I literally hid my grief and I could not focus throughout my school years. Many lessons in school triggered memories. I remember grabbing the side of my desk, trying not to cry, trying not to show any emotion during many lessons. And I wanted to stay home with my mom because I feared losing her as well. So what are some of the current solutions and some of the feedback that I'm receiving from school staff? If this is a communities and schools, watching, what am I hearing from site coordinators? I just want to give you a sense of the things that I'm hearing on a daily basis that you may be experiencing too. So a lot of schools will conduct grief groups with maybe a local grief center or bring in local support to come into the school. Sometimes there's not enough time to help all the students. Students do not connect well with the outsourced help. Students might not want help in that moment. Sometimes these outsourced resources are stretched thin and they're just not available to come in. And so that sometimes leaves you to figure it all out. And so I'm excited to show you how we can support if that is the case. Sometimes you can't vet the resource, and there's obviously a time commitment that maybe students or yourself cannot commit to. And then it's often not frequent. So I would love to get into how Guardian Lane can be an additional resource to help you support yourself, your knowledge of how to support a grieving student, to support your grief groups, but also be able to send home support to families and students for the moment that they need help. So just to give you a little overview, Guardian Lane gives support staff, students, and their families immediate access to help using exclusive therapeutic video projects, a community, and we're trying to make it a lot of fun. So let's dig in. So what is Guardian Lane? What does it look like? What's this experience for students? Well, first, it is a video library that is all tied to the emotional state of your student. So when a student clicks what they're feeling in the moment, it leads them to videos that are specific to that emotion so that they can work on addressing what they're feeling. They can put words to what they're feeling, and they can release any stress that is trapped in the body related to that feeling. So to give you some examples, we have art projects, we have writing prompts, and we have therapy techniques. I love Serene's video. She teaches students that when they're feeling any sort of anxiety while in class and they don't want anyone to kind of see how they are releasing their stress, she teaches them tapping and shows them the pressure points that they can press on during a school lesson to release that stress that they're feeling in their body, and no one will know what they're doing. The site is extremely easy to navigate. You can get to additional videos by selecting a different emotion or all videos. And also this feedback came from schools is they wanted to quickly get to the projects that are suited for the student in their age range. Although I will say, some of our high school students really love some of the art projects for the younger kids. So it may be worth showing them all the projects and seeing which ones they gravitate towards. We did get feedback that schools wanted an additional language to support their students. So we have first added Spanish. By clicking this Spanish subtitle button, you can turn on and off subtitles. Please give us feedback if you have additional languages that we can support for your school. We also have some projects that have printables. And to get to that, you would just click the print assignment. It pops up and you are able to print out the needed document for the video that you are viewing. So what does your experience look like? You have a dashboard where you can add students. We'll dig into this a little bit later, but it allows you to essentially create a card for every student so that you can see their emotional check-in over time. It also, every time that you create a new student, it instantly creates an account that's automatically sent home to the Guardian. And again, we'll go into that in a minute, but this is what your experience looks like. When you click, I'll go back. When you click your student's card, it opens up their emotional journey so you can see how they're checking in. You know, Maria's checking in 100% of the time is sad, but you'll see in some students, it can be, 20% sad and 80% angry. And this gives you visibility. If the student was never showing any signs of anger, it allows you to further dig in to support them. This is an additional option. It is not necessary to be able to access the video library, but we do offer one-on-one video sessions with some of our therapists and counselors that wanted to make themselves available should you need extra support. These can happen during school hours. I know a lot of schools have used them during lunchtime, and there's no, this is not a therapy relationship. This is more just counseling and helping beyond the videos. Some of the counselors will do some of their projects live with the student and can allow, certain prompts that maybe a guardian or even you might not know what to say. Having this extra support is pretty important. And if you are stretched thin or need additional resources, know that you have this community of counselors and therapists that are here for you. I'll quickly go into it. These are the packages should you want this, again, this is not tied to having access to the videos, but should you need the extra support, it's there for you. So let's dig in. How do you create your school account? Well, you're going to go to guardianlane.com. From there, you can click schools. You're going to click login. You're going to click school, individual school admin. So if you're just creating this account for yourself, if you are responsible for multiple schools and want to create those accounts all at one time, you can do a school district admin. But if it's just for one school, please click the individual school. Here we just ask for simple information so that we know who you are. We will have you verify your email. So you'll click this button in your email. And then there's a few more questions with the onboarding, like what school are you creating an account for? How can we reach you? Should we need to? And then you're right into your dashboard. It's as simple as that. So we'll dig into how you can create a student account. You will click your student tab. You will then click add new student. Here you will put in the information for the student and the guardian, and you'll see in a second why we collect this. It is not for our internal data. It's actually because it's creating a template email that's automatically sent, showing that you created this account for the student. We have tags. So say there are multiple staff or teachers with this Guardian Lane account. You can add a tag for who added the student. I know I have a few support staff who are responsible for elementary, middle, and high school. And so rather than having 3 different accounts, they will have one account and then just tag which school that student is with, to just help better navigate all of the students once they've been added, especially if you have multiple staff or multiple schools. Then you will click add student. This is the email that the guardian receives the second that you hit that button, add student, and this is where that information comes in. So you added the name of the guardian, you would have, this would already be the name of your school, the name of the student, gives a little bit information. They have their login credentials, but from this email, they can click and immediately log in. Should you do the one-on-one counseling sessions, we have a consent form that they can easily fill out. You may have your own consent forms. We just created this to make it easier for you to get started even sooner. This consent form is not needed to access the videos. This is just if you need it for your one-on-one sessions. So once that student has been created, here again is their card. You can click in, and this is great if you're doing in-person sessions with that student, or if you have an account for yourself, a student account for yourself. I'm going to go back. By clicking this card, not only again do you get this emotional journey, but this is pretty important. This is where you click to log into that specific student's account, or you can resend the login should the guardian say they didn't receive it, it went to spam, or later down the line they want to sign that consent form. You can resend the login from their card. When you create your account, we now create a student account automatically for you. So you'll see your name, and that way you can click in and see the projects. Should you want to see them ahead of time, get the supplies for your groups. And also we upload a new video every other week. So you can constantly go in and check for new videos. If you have multiple staff that would like to be a part of this account, you can add them here. And it's as simple as clicking, sorry, I'll go back, add new staff. You put in their first name, last name, their email, and they receive an email saying you now have access to the account. Again, if you are interested in those extra support counseling sessions, you can do that from this tab here. You can also search and look at the counselors that have made themselves available. should you want to see who's on the site. And by clicking view profile, you can see their credentials there. Just quickly, should you do the counseling sessions, it's as easy as like a Calendly look. So you'll see their availability, you click to confirm, you get a confirmation page, you can add it to your calendar, and then you get a reminder email 24 hours before the session, 30 minutes before the session, and then at the session, it will log you in, and then this start counseling session button will be blinking. You click it and 2 screens appear. So how do you share this with your team? If you're watching this video, you probably have already been to the toolkit, but you can easily get to information there. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at kjones@guardianlane.com. In the toolkit, I am constantly updating it with additional resources when I find them, or something is released about, you know, something in the news, or if there's an event and we need to further support all students, I will drop it in there and then alert you that there's a new resource in the toolkit. Yes, I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and again, you will have this recording to refer back to or send to staff. If you need to reach me, I can be reached at kjones@guardianlane.com. And if you would like to book a live webinar with your staff, please go to guardianlane.com/toolkit, and there you can access my calendar to book a time. All right, thank you so much. And again, thank you for supporting your grieving student.